And good evening. Welcome to the Steve Mazzacane podcast. It's been a while since I've recorded, so I'm glad to be back here. This podcast and the next one we're going to put out are a little bit different than most of them. Most of them you can watch whenever. They're timeless kind of thing. But here we have the candidates for First Selectman in Brantford. We're interviewing them separately. We have about 45 minutes to an hour with each one. Today will be Jeff Vailette. The next video will be Josh Brooks, the Democratic candidate. And we're glad to have both here. Jeff, thanks for joining me. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, Steve. Thanks for inviting me.
No problem. I'll tell you the same thing I tell every person that's here. This is less an interview and more conversation. So as we talk about, I'm in Brantford. I love Brantford. You're in Brantford. You love Brantford. It's just a conversation between two people that enjoy it. And I know you're running to replace Jamie Cosgrove. Personally, good luck with that. But we know the job that he's done.
He's done a great job.
And you do have his endorsement. You come in with that. So it's a good place to start for you. But to get going, what I'd like to do is just learn a little bit more about you. So
sure.
Give me, first of all, your education, background, that sort of stuff for early days in Brantford.
Okay. So, as you're aware, I've been born and raised in Brantford all my life and, grew up here. Went to St. Mary's Catholic School in town and graduated from Notre Dame High School in West Haven. As a youngster, of course, that was a decision of my parents, but I had the opportunity to put my kids to the public school and had some good results here in town.
How many kids, Jeff?
I have 3, 2 boys and a girl, and 5 grandchildren that don't all live in Brantford, but live in the area, so we do see them often. But upon graduating Notre Dame, I went to Quinnipiac College at that point in time, received a BS degree in finance and economics, and secured a job in the corporate world while I was earning my master's degree at UNH. So I was able to, get a good education. Lo and behold, as time moved on, I found an opportunity to volunteer at the fire department, North Main Street, and that was in 1978. I joined, member of Company 1, and was able to take a liking to EMS by getting involved with the rescue company there. Became an EMT and started working on Brantford Ambulance. That was still a part-time service the town was offering back in the 70s and 80s before it became full-time like today, which is a great benefit to the citizens here. And as I grew with that, not only became the supervisor of that department, I also became one of Brantford's first paramedics. The town had the opportunity to join the New Haven Sponsor Hospital Program and put 6 EMTs through paramedic school, and I happened to be chosen as one of them. And I was very, very happy to help the citizens in town and with their medical emergencies and, growing that field. As time moved on in growth, the EMS department was merged into the fire department for economies of scale, as you well assume, and they're doing a great job. So continued my career in the business world as I'm in automobile sales. I ran a couple dealerships along the shoreline as a general manager and currently still doing that.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who know you from the car dealership aspect of it.
That's
You've
correct.
met a lot of people in town.
I do have a large customer base, and just being involved in, starting out in the volunteer fire department. I'm a member of the Brantford Rotary Club for 25 years. I've been involved with the Italian American Club in town, as you well know. Eventually became the president, and very, very involved in my Italian heritage. We still practice a lot of the, Italian traditions like Sunday sauce on weekends with the family and stuff like that. And we were able to, grow our club and get involved with some of the New Haven County Italian American activities and stuff like that. So our organization, the Brantford Italian American Club, is well respected with those other societies in New Haven.
And we've used that for that building for every event known to man.
Yeah, it's open to anybody that needs to, have some space to hold a birthday, a baptism, or anything of that nature. We help everybody out the best we can.
No, certainly I've been there for many events. Okay. Now, what year did you first get on the Board of Finance?
So I was appointed by Uncle Ross. That was around 2002, so I've been there about 23 years now.
Okay. All right. So was Mooney before you or after?
He was before me.
Okay. So we had, I mean, the Democrats, you were a Democrat for most of your life. We'll get to that in a little bit. But the Democrats have been on there, well, outside of Victor, who just passed away, who was amazing and a legend, but they've been on there forever. Yeah, absolutely great man. Okay, so let's bring that up. Now, we have Jamie Cosgrove won, in Brantford, Democrats outnumber Republicans about 2-1.
Correct.
Most of the elections, however, have not necessarily reflected that. They've been either they're more moderate Democrats or more liberal Republican, whatever it is, and there's a large unaffiliated group in that middle that kind of votes. So while Democrats may have a slightly easier path, it hasn't necessarily shown that way in all of the numbers. We're in the age of Trump, so that might be a little bit different story. But you come after Jamie, who had hardcore Democratic family for many years. He decides to run as a Republican. Runs for 12 years. It's been a very good, I think by any measure, I don't think I'm speaking out of school here, Democrats or Republicans will tell us it's been a very, very good 12 years. Correct. A lot of things got done. Yeah. And Board of Finance has been a huge part of that. Until 2 months ago or 3 months ago, you were a registered Democrat. Correct. You chose to run as a Republican. What drove that?
Well, I knew you were going to bring this question up. So, I like Jamie's probably more moderate. As you know, Jamie did, he and I talked. He said he wasn't running any longer for office, and he would endorse me, and he would endorse me as long as I became a Republican, which after I gave it some good thought and discussed it with a few individuals, I made the decision to switch. And again, I like Jamie. I'm looking for the well-being of the town. He built a great foundation. He's leaving a great foundation behind. And, my goal is to continue that. I'm not a Trump supporter. I don't believe in the things that he does by cutting funds to the state and the towns. So that's important. And, the foundation that we laid as being a member of the Board of Finance has helped isolate away from that activity of Trump.
Well, that has been one of the big differences between you and your opponent really came in the last budget. We saw the mentality of the Democrats, especially on the RTM, and we have to separate them because we have the Democrats on the Board of Finance and the Democrats on the RTM who have not been in lockstep by any means. We have
correct.
One group has been saving money in investments, what have you. The RTM has been pushing for saving less money and using that to, lower taxes without having to make any cuts. In the last budget, there were 2 votes taken. One vote was to remove $500,000 from contingency. Josh abstained from that, and we'll ask him about that later. I don't know why, but he did. And then he voted for a resolution to take more money from the town savings account, or what we call the undesignated fund balance, and move that towards the budget. When that got to the Board of Finance, listen, no one questions Joe Mooney's credentials.
Correct.
Joe Mooney is a financial legend. He's a hardcore Democrat. He's a state of the IRS for the state.
He worked in the Treasury Department, the Department of Revenue Service, but he was also the finance manager for the town of Brantford back in the 80s. I worked with him then when we were working with the ambulance department. So Joe does have a vast knowledge, and he brings a lot to the table to the administration and to the finance department, which is very important.
And his response, I had never seen that before. I had never seen Joe Mooney that upset. Now, maybe I don't know him personally. Maybe there's some other times that he's been upset, but I have never seen him. He called it irresponsible. Correct. And that the RTM was trying to tell the Board of Finance how to do their job. And that's a hard thing to take after, 20 years on the Board of Finance, really know what you're doing.
Right.
But that's the difference between you two. And you spoke up at that meeting, as did every Republican. Every member of the Board of Finance spoke up and agreed with them.
And the Board of Finance is pretty much a nonpartisan board. It is a nonpartisan board. We work good together with the Republicans on the Republican side and the Democrats. We have a good relation, I guess. And Joe is a Democrat and he's the chairman, so that tells you a lot about his capabilities. But and we don't plan the town budget based on saving money. The budget is managed well by the finance department. Department heads run their departments within the budget. And yes, sometimes there's excess or surpluses that go back to contingency. That money, that rainy day fund as it's called, helps us with our bonding, gets us great rates, gives us a AAA bond rating. So there's a lot of good reasons why we have that, and in an event of any emergency, we can help ourselves out.
Well, especially, I mean, I've written this, but especially in the age of Trump, where we don't know
Right.
what can happen.
Well, correct. So he's cutting funding. The state's cutting the funding to the towns, and there are services that need to be continued, especially at the education level for the children.
I think people forget too that we went through Sandy and Irene back to back very quickly.
Correct.
And very much dependent on FEMA money for a lot of stuff there. But if that was going, we've had, 10, 12 years of really the economy's been relatively good. Our return on investments have been good, and we haven't had a huge Irene or Sandy.
Right.
So we lose track of the fact of how quickly it can happen.
Correct.
And, if one of those things happen, and, I'm a registered Democrat, but I think a registered Democrat or Republican doesn't matter. Whether you're a Trump fan or not, he's uncertain. You have no idea what he's going to do on a Tuesday versus a Wednesday.
Absolutely.
We don't know if there's going to be FEMA money. So this idea, and I've written this is not some sort of, taking a side here. I've written that more savings is a good thing for the town. But that seems to be one of the key areas where you two are separate. He has signed a petition saying, use more money to put towards the annual budget, and you spoke up against that at the meeting.
Correct. And I think it's important that we do have a savings. As you can see, you relate to those storms. We were able to help ourselves out on Linden Avenue.
Yep.
We had issues where, Linden Avenue's got one way in and one way out. Boston Park's kind of isolated. We were able to respond. If we had to wait, what do we do?
Yeah.
So that's just one example. But and the money's used wisely, and it doesn't fall on deaf ears when it comes time to put the budget together.
With regards to taxes.
Yeah. Exactly.
So one of the things he's put out there is an idea to cut taxes for a group of seniors, saying that they need to be able to stay in their homes.
Correct.
In fairness, I've already said that this is giving a tax cut to some, but it also raises taxes on others. What are your thoughts on it?
Well, I'm not in favor of that ideology. I mean, I understand that it's important to keep, the tax base reasonable. And, one way to do that so that we can take the burden off the residential taxpayers is to try to increase the commercial base in this town. So that means economic development. Try to get some retail stores like a Costco or a Trader Joe's with some, smaller stores to help the town tax base. That'll help maintain lower taxes for all residents, not just a certain group of people.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's certainly support. I don't know where Josh's view is on Costco. There's support for Costco. Eventually, I think Costco will end up making another application. That's me saying that, not you, for the record.
I understand.
But, yeah, okay. But I think, Democrats fought that. I don't know where Josh stood, so I don't want to represent where he stood on that or not, and I'll ask him when he comes here. Trader Joe's, people have been asking for forever.
Correct.
Every time. It's amazing because I'll watch the comments on Branford 7, and they are, no, we don't want any development. We don't want any development. We don't want Oh, wait. If it's Trader Joe's, we'll take that.
And our Economic Development Commission can reach out to them. They do their own studies, whether this is a good market for them or not. If they can find their way to Branford, I think it would be great. We'd find a location for them. There are open parcels that need development in town, and not, from a commercial standpoint.
So what do you? So after 12 years of Cosgrove, and I know you're following that footsteps, and you voted with Cosgrove, was there something that you would do differently or try to improve upon that he's done?
Well, overall, I've done Jamie's done a great job. We all know that. I reiterate that. I can't really pick on one thing that I personally can do better. I know that there's a lot of items on the agenda that need to be addressed. So,
all right. So let's get to those then.
Well, let's just back up a second.
Like,
the middle school was a project under Jamie's administration. It's a great project. It came in on time. It came in on budget. Mm-hmm. And we got a beautiful school building there for our middle school children. Yeah. To back that up, we looked at a field project. And Jamie put a committee together. And lo and behold, we cut the ribbon on that project back in September. And another great project that came in under budget. It's important to keep your eye on the ball, regardless of what the project is. And the few things that are on the table, I plan to keep my eye on, hopefully manage in the same manner that Jamie did. We have good employees in the town that work on these committees, and we have also good volunteers. So they all have an interest for Brantford, and that's important. There's a good foundation, and I plan to build on that foundation.
And one of the big changes he made that I think people underestimate was the creating of a building commission.
Correct.
And, this idea in the past, and I am a friend of Jack Ahern. I like Jack a lot, but he pushed that firehouse forward. And that's fine, but I don't know if we should have individual commissions pushing their own projects forward. Having a building commission that's central with building and architectural experts has changed a lot.
That is 100% correct. I think that building commission is a great asset. Currently, right now, they're monitoring the renovation of the Brantford Police Department, and I understand that's progressing nicely.
Yeah.
And I can't say that it's going to be finished on time because I don't know all the details, but when we're done, we're going to have what we laid out to we spent $20 million. We're going to get a good project done. The police will be able to grow in that building for the next 20-odd years. So I think it's a good approach. We had the same with the recreation and senior center building. So it's good to get people involved. I have a vision, but I need to bring people together so we can make that vision happen.
So let's talk about that vision. So let's suppose November 3rd, 4th, whatever voting day is, you're elected and then you're in the first day. Do you have your top 2-3 priorities that you really want to get going?
Well, I know there's a lot on the table in town. There's been a lot of talk about different things, and try to grow the economic base here. I know we talked about Costco, Trader Joe's, or whatever. I know that there's a healthcare facility that's dating us right now to move out east, a rehab center. I'd like to look a little deeper into those to see that they are maybe going to happen and be beneficial to the town. I think that's important.
So that's a project at exit 56 of a rehab center.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. Public Works needs a new home. We've had some, they were displaced out of their current facility, and I would evaluate where they may be able to establish themselves and maintain a facility. They have a great department. There's a lot of equipment that needs to be, kept under, out of the weather, under a roof, and so that needs to be evaluated. There's discussion about a firehouse on the east side of town. That again needs to be evaluated. We got great first responders, great fire service. I understand the concern there is response time, but I think overall, without dissecting it, they do a great job getting to assist the citizens and to the incidences that need to happen. I'd like to see, there's some discussion about crosswalks up on Brushy Plains at Vets Park. So, that's something a little bit easier, coordinate with the state DOT. There's some flooding concerns down in Paulson Park and the Sunset Beach area that need to get addressed. So there's a lot that needs to get sorted out. And again, it's prioritizing it based on the budget and whatever. Short Beach, I understand there's some parking issues down there.
There's always going to be parking issues.
Well, they got an active little corner there with the restaurant, the post office, et cetera. So, and improve the sidewalks. And I understand, Short Beach is a great community. They have their parade. They're having some difficulties with. So, try to put more arms around that and help them out with getting their parade organized so that they can continue to have that on Short Beach Road. So,
so with regards to say larger projects, Public Works is the focus.
I would think so. I don't want to underestimate the fire department, but right now they're displaced technically, and
we have a temporary location
for
them.
We do.
On
they're not out standing on a street corner. Right.
And I know there are discussions about a potential long-term solution for that.
Correct. There's some evaluations going on right now.
Okay. We have talked about a lot with the Board of Ed at the forum I've had 2 weeks ago about Sliney School. Now, as long as you've been around here, Sliney School's been here. It's a legend.
Correct. There was the high school, and it became the junior high school. The building's outlived its useful life. There's issues there. So, I would assist the Board of Ed to evaluate their buildings and see what the best solution is. But, Saline's probably going to cost us too much to renovate, and we're probably going to have to, move out of that building and, move on to some other acceptable plan.
And one of the plans we're looking at now is like an addition to the other two elementary schools.
Correct.
And one of the issues with Salini at the forum we had a few weeks ago was just the cost of maintaining that building is a huge cost.
Absolutely.
So you have a significant annual savings.
Correct.
When it comes to moving those somewhere else. And then I don't know, and I asked this question there. I don't know the exact answer yet because the education officials will question this or not want to answer this. But does it eliminate a principal and a couple of vice presidents and a bunch of academic administrative costs long term? That could be huge for Brantford if we can manage it with less schools.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it might, and maybe you might add an assistant or two assistants at those elementary schools. I do think that the Board of Ed and Dr. Tranberg are adjusting well as new administrators in town, and I'm hearing good things from the town that we're working well together, which is great and it's important, and I think it's going to be wonderful. I look forward to getting involved with them and making this happen.
And you have, it's you say you're looking forward to it, but you hear their budget every year. Like
Correct.
It's not like you've got 20 years of hearing what they've done, and I think improvement has been drastic in the last year from the Hamlet switch over to Tranberg on the relationship between the town and the Board of Ed.
That's correct. I've seen it. I've seen I've heard it, and it's there's been a big improvement.
That's good to see.
Between the town finance department and the Board of Ed finance people, and they want to be helpful, and the town wants to be helpful because it's a better fit for everybody and better management of the budget dollars.
What makes you want to make this switch? You're on the Board of Finance. You get to hear every town department. You get to hear all these budgets, and now you want to be the guy who sets the direction for the town in many ways. Why want to switch?
Well, that's a good question. I've been on the Board of Finance, as I stated earlier, 23 years. And if I was to take the next step, this is like a natural progression. I've been involved in the town for a long time. Everybody would say to me, you should run for select person. I said, the time will be right, and maybe I will make that decision and have that opportunity. In discussions with Jamie, that opportunity came around. I said yes, and I'm looking for the challenge. I feel I'm a good candidate. I've got the experience, and I'd like to build on what's being left by Jamie, that foundation.
One of the mailers you sent, or wherever I saw, I'm not exactly sure where I saw it, was this idea to have your running mate work on the issue of bullying. And unfortunately in Brantford, we've dealt with some tragedies due to alleged some level of bullying. And it's been a thing that's happened in the school system, and we see a rising issue with it. Why is that something you think you should address townwide?
Because, one, it's important. You got young lives involved here, and I think people need to, get the help. Bullying's a broad issue. It's not just me pushing you. Kids get picked on for whatever reason. Adults could get picked on. It's not just specific to children. And I think getting Victoria involved on a commission to start addressing the issues and to learn about them. Sometimes people are afraid to speak up. There was another forum last week while I was out of town at the library regarding that the Rotary Club sponsored. Oh,
that was on, mental health issues.
Yeah. And I think that ties in a little bit. There was some discussion about bullying, and it's a topic not just exclusive to Brantford. It's going on around other areas of the state and whatever. But it's important. Lives are important.
And also, this idea, and I am someone who believes that we just made this switch in the school department with regards to cell phones and not using cell phones, and that helps the teachers tremendously.
Correct.
Teach in the classroom. We often put all of these issues that when we were growing up were kind of school issues still on the school. Well, it's not a school issue anymore. No. Bullying is a town-wide 24-hour-a-day thing.
Correct.
That everybody has to be really a part of. So could be something that could be really effective I don't know that I've seen other towns. I've seen other boards of education do it. I'm not sure that I've seen other towns work on it on their side. So this could be something that's...
Well, it's definitely a topic that needs to be addressed. It's a big concern.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, taking this approach and getting across, people from Board of Ed, people from our Human Services Department, and having Victoria, lead the way. She's got a lot of experience, and she's got a great level head.
Yep.
And she's a great running mate. So
yeah, she's amazing.
I think between the two of us, we're going to do a great job for this town.
You two, and then Eddie Preet is the treasurer is the top of your ticket.
Eddie Preet's another dynamic individual, yes. He's been involved in the RTM for a long time, chose not to run, and when I reached out to him, in all honesty, he was a little hesitant, but once he wrapped his head around jumping on board with me, he said yes, and he's very enthusiastic.
So what is, when you go to a meet and greet and people say, what do you envision for Brantford? What is your answer to that? What do you bring to the table that you think Brantford needs?
Well, as you know, I love Brantford. I grew up here, so my vision is to keep us moving forward, maintain the financial base, maintain the budgets, responsible budgets, and address some of those issues that we talked about earlier. There's a lot on the table, and again, I'm going to have to sort that out if I'm elected to be that individual. I feel I have the qualifications to do that, Steve. But Brantford's we're in a good direction. I mean, to put my finger on a specific topic, it's kind of hard for me to do right now, just because there's a lot on the table.
Okay. And so when a voter is walking in that voting booth and they're looking at two names, mm-hmm. they should vote for you because why?
Well, I have experience. I mean, I know Josh is a good person. I know Josh loves the town just as like I do. But I feel that I have more experience being in my involvement in the town at the Board of Finance. I know Josh has been on the RTM a couple of times, stepped off and came back. And again, that doesn't make him a bad person, but I base it on my experience.
Okay. Well, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Anything else you want to add to the voters?
No. Just go out and vote. The town needs you. We'd like to hear from you, and vote row B.
All right. I appreciate it.
Thank
Jeff,
you.
Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. We will have this will be out, and then if you're watching this and you've just seen it, that means that soon after or almost at the same time, a podcast with Josh Brooks will be out as well. Watch both, get to know both of the candidates, and make sure you get out and vote by Election Day. Have a good one.